Wow. All right. Well, here we go. Now, I mean, the red zone issues have been fixed, and you really have to feel good about, where you're at right now if you're the Rams. I mean, a huge, huge, huge win against a team that I know people are going to say now they're not good because of the way they lost, but that Jaguars team on film, they're boneheaded. They make a lot of mistakes. They have a lot of penalties, but they're a good football team. They are. And I feel like the mainstream is going to look at that and be like, yeah, it just kind of goes to show you, the Rams just, they're, it's not really the Rams. It's more so the Jaguars aren't that good. No. I think the Rams are this good. They should be 7-0. They went on the road. They went to London. Now, mind you, the Jaguars were there for like almost a week. The Rams just got there, and they looked ready. Sean McVay is just really good at this London thing, in case you didn't know. How good? Well, guess what? Sean McVay is 3-0 on in London as the Rams head coach, and his teams have outscored other teams 92-17. Dominance, absolute dominance. So, yeah, I believe the Rams are the best team in the NFL. I know that's the question I was asking, or the prompt. They are. I told you this team's special. I said this is the best iteration of the Rams in the Sean McVay era, and I got a lot of blowback for that, being called hyperbolic and what have you. But I truly believe this to be the case. And the reason I say this is because of the depth. I say it all the time. Because, yes, there are other teams that had Matthew Stafford. There are other teams that had superstars. This team doesn't even have an Aaron Donald. This team doesn't have Todd Gurley or a Von Miller or anything like that. I get that. But they don't have to have those exact guys if what they have is, what they have. So my biggest thing is this. The Rams' depth continues to show up. Continues. Today, Konate Mumfield catches his first touchdown in the NFL. Terrence Ferguson catches his first touchdown. You got Tyler Higbee getting involved. You got Colby Parkinson getting involved. You got Davis Allen getting involved. You got Xavier Smith getting involved. Right? This is what I'm talking about. You see the job Josiah Stewart is doing on the defensive side of the ball. This is what's so impressive to me. So right now, yes, the Rams are the best team in the NFL. They are. Today proved it. I don't care what anyone says. I had them at 3 coming into this week on the power rankings. Today proved they are, in fact, the best team in the NFL. Period. Will they stay that way? Will they be that way the whole year? They have to have some sort of, decent bill of health. But guys, I'm telling you, they are fun to watch. They are frustrating to watch. They got so much talent. This defense, truthfully, this defense is the best in the league. And guess what? The offense, as much as they have struggled, as much as they haven't lived up to the expectations to start the year, their quarterback has 17 touchdown passes. They just scored 35 points having to go to London. They haven't been home in 2 weeks. And now here they are, and look. So, man, I'm really impressed with the way they came out. Were there some frustrating moments? Absolutely. But we're all human, right? We all can have our issues and complain and what have you. But I mean, I'll tell you right now, this was a ass kicking. 35-7 doesn't even do it justice, because honestly, they could have put up 50 today. Matthew Stafford threw 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, didn't get sacked. The one sack was taken away because of the penalty. 182 yards passing. Do you know why the Rams' leading receiver was Colby Parkinson with 47 yards? Do you know why the Rams only had 54 yards on the ground with Kyren Williams? Do you know why Matthew Stafford only had 182 yards passing? Because their starting field position was like at the 50. This was dominance on all facets, in all areas. It was absolute dominance. This is what I'm talking about. So, say what you will. Remember, I made a video on this, and I said, you are too hard on the Rams. First overall in PFF grades, 9 of the last 10 Super Bowl teams have been first in PFF. I'm not saying it's everything, but it's a lot of things. Second offensive grade, first pass offense grade, third in receiving, second in run blocking, third in defense, fourth in run defense, sixth in tackling, fifth in pass coverage, fifth in pass rush. Guys, this is the best team in the NFL, period. In order to beat this team, the 49ers had to stop the Rams in overtime on 4th and 1. They were in the red zone. They had to have a goal line fumble, which, by the way, now the NFL is looking over potentially because of, I think it was Jack Campbell or whoever punched some guy, and now all of a sudden they're talking about potentially penalizing a player, having more of an emphasis on penalizing players that don't make contact when they try to punch the ball out, but they don't make contact with the football. So there was that. And then there was, 2 blocked kicks. 2 blocked kicks. So, yes, I don't care what anyone says. You can have a bad day. You can absolutely have a bad day. I get it. The Jaguars were not, in my opinion, that was not managed well at all. But here's the deal. Yeah, the Jaguars might not have played their best game, right? The Rams might not have gotten the best Jaguars team. But you know what? It looked pretty similar to the Seattle game. Here's the thing, okay? I want to make this very clear. I went back and I watched the film against Seattle, there were some things that stood out, okay? First thing, Travis Etienne barely got to run the football against Seattle. Guess what? This Rams game, he barely ran the football. Now, this was a blowout, understandable. Seattle, it's a 20-12 game. That's on the Jaguars. That's not my problem. My win doesn't mean anything less if they're beating themselves. They abandoned the run. They did against Seattle. They did against the Rams. Against Seattle, Trevor Lawrence didn't throw an interception. He was also sacked 7 times, just like the Rams game. Threw 250-plus yards, just like the Rams game. Threw 40-plus times, just like the Rams game. Here's the thing. They're very similar. Travis Hunter went over 100 yards today. Shout out to him. Great game for him, and I'm a big fan of his game. Brian Thomas Jr. had 90 last week. The Rams had 7 sacks. Seattle had 7 sacks. See, this is kind of what I'm getting at. The Rams played the same Jaguars team that the Seahawks got. Like, Devin Lloyd missed this game. Devin Lloyd barely played in the game against Seattle before he went down. Ventrell Miller played well. And again, this is a boneheaded team. They're tied for the second most penalties in the league. They had 10 penalties against Seattle. So they had more this time. They had 13. The time of possession, they had 28 minutes against the Rams. Against Seattle, they had 33. So my point is that people are going to say, oh, maybe the Rams didn't play like the best Seahawks or Jaguars team. Like, yeah, maybe the Jaguars weren't at their best, but we're not going to discredit what was a very impressive win for the Los Angeles Rams, nor should we. Very impressive. Can't stress it enough. 26 first downs for the Rams, 14 of which came through the air. I mean, Sean McVay was in his bag. They went 2 for 2 on fourth down. Third down, they were 2 for 10. That's not a huge deal because I'm more focused on the red zone. 4 for 4 in the red zone. 4 for 4 in the red zone. The one score that wasn't in the red zone was a 31-yard pass play to Terrence Ferguson for a touchdown. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. This is a really good sign. The Rams are 5-2. They're right where they want to be going into a bye. To go into a bye off a game like that, coming from London, I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up any better. And today, how about the draft class? Ferguson caught a touchdown. Their 7th rounder, Konate Mumfield, caught a touchdown. Josiah Stewart had a sack, and honestly, he was everywhere. Davante Adams with 3 touchdowns. I did tell you guys, Davante Adams goes off against the Jaguars. 2 games in a row with at least 2 touchdowns. He added 3. Darius Williams, 4 pass breakups. 4 against his former team. Do they need a cornerback after all? I guess we'll find out, but I'll tell you right now, I think Akello's going to be back. Maybe not like tomorrow, but I think he's going to be back within the next 4 or 5 weeks, I'd imagine. You get Akello back with the way Darius Williams is playing, with the way Kobe Durant's playing, the way Forbes has been playing lately. And I will say it, the best safety room in the NFL. Okay, and that pass rush. I don't know how many pressures they had. Seattle had 39 last week. I don't know if the Rams had 39, but Trevor Lawrence couldn't really hold on to the football. They were getting after him quick. It's just absolute dominance. And Stafford breaking the London passing touchdown record with 5. I'll say this, Matthew Stafford, if he's not your MVP, who is? Who's your MVP? Because everyone, see, today was cool because everybody that was going to say, well, he is just a product of Puka Nacua, right? And I understand that is absolutely ludicrous, but I feel like he's going to get penalized for having Puka Nacua on his team. Games like today show you exactly why Stafford is just Stafford. Doesn't matter who's his receivers. He still found a way to win this game. And not just win it, blow the other team out of the water. Now, in case you're wondering how Jacksonville's season is gone, 26-10, they beat the Panthers. They lost a 31-27 game to the Bengals. They beat the Texans 17-10. They beat the 49ers 26-21. They beat the Chiefs 31-28. They lost to the Seahawks 20-12, and then they gave up 35 to the Rams 35-7, which is the most this season. Like I say what you will. This Rams team's legit. People are not happy. You know why? Because everyone thinks they know something until they don't. Matthew Stafford, so many people were banking on Matthew Stafford having some issue with his back. And I'm not here to say that he's out of the woods on that. Like, absolutely, he could hurt his back on the flight home. I'm not saying he can't. But it was so ridiculous. Like, the way it was worded and everything. So, my thing here is that Stafford now if you're doing the math, has 17 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the first 7 games of the year and has the Rams at 5-2. What are we doing if he's not the MVP right now? Now, to be fair, Baker's throwing the guys off the practice squad. Dak Prescott is doing what he's doing, and it's truthfully, there's a lot of really good quarterback play. Matthew Stafford is the MVP. Dak's Cowboys are not 5-2. Baker Mayfield definitely has an argument, without a doubt. But I haven't even seen Stafford in the top 5 in some of those lists. So I don't even know what's going on there. Coming off the bye, they'll have the Saints. The Saints are 1-5. They're 0-2 on the road. That'll be at SoFi Stadium. So welcome back home to LA. Off a bye, winning in London. Now the Rams are in a really good spot. There's no doubt about it. It might not be the prettiest way they got here. It might be a frustrating team just because of how good they can be. But this is why I said, don't overblow the whole Ravens thing. I don't feel like we appreciated that win enough. That was dominance from the defense. The defense this year has been insane when you really think about it. And they're just getting better. Truly, it's remarkable. It really is. So that's where I'm at on that. But I will tell you, I am very excited for the future. And anybody that is a Rams fan should be. Because to see a defense already come together like that was fun to watch. That was special, truthfully. That was a dominant performance. And it's just, there's so many. Cam Curl leading tackler today. Great pass breakup at the end of the game to break up a touchdown. Nate Landman, 1.5 sacks, 9 tackles, coming off a franchise record-breaking performance last week. TFL. Quentin Lake with a sack. Man, that was a huge safety blitz. He gets a 17-yard sack, and it takes him completely out of field goal range. 2 pass breakups in this game. Cameron Kinchins was everywhere. That dude flies all over the field, man. Give Kinchins a lot of credit. Emmanuel Forbes looked really good. McCullough had a pass breakup. I thought Reeder played pretty well on teams. Kobe had a nice pass breakup. He swatted the ball. Josiah Stewart had some big tackles and had a sack. Jared Verse had the sack that at the beginning he almost jumped over Trevor Lawrence. Crazy. Byron Young, 1.5 sacks in this one. He's now up to 9? He has 9 sacks through 7 games. He had 7.5 all of last year. Murchison. I mean, he's the human victory cigar, right? He comes in when the game's over and he gets a sack. He had a sack last week. He gets another one this week. And Braden Fisk had a pass breakup. Darius Williams had 4 pass breakups. The Rams had 10 pass breakups in this game. Absolutely love it. Just such a fun game. No turnovers, by the way, which is crazy. A game with that much rain and, just slippery and everything. No turnovers. None. I thought that first drive, I'll say it right now, I thought that first drive immediately, I was like, okay, the Rams are going to win this game. When Sean McVay sent his offense back out there and they actually punched it in for a touchdown, I was convinced they're winning this game right off the rip. I already knew they were going to win coming in. I had 28-22, but I was like, they're definitely going to win. You could just tell. The way they came out, that offense, that drive was so methodical, getting Parkinson involved, having Ferguson out there, Mumfield catches that touchdown. You're like, shit, this team can do no wrong right now. So hats off to Sean McVay. I thought he called a great game, red zone and all. And I think that's really the main thing here. We know the Rams are capable of beating anybody. We know they're capable of playing down to their competition. But if Sean McVay is going to call a game like he did today in the red zone, if he's going to consistently do that moving forward, I don't think anybody stands a chance because that defense is just too dominant. They're going to get better too when Akello comes back. So it's just right now, I just think that Rams defense, man, like, and it's so crazy. The biggest issue with the Rams defense is paying the Rams defense. That's the biggest issue. That is the biggest issue I have with their defense right now. Is guys staying? Is Chris Shula going to be a head coach? Akello Witherspoon, free agency. Kobe Durant, free agency. Landman, free agency. Having to pay Byron Young. Having to pay Jared Verse. Having to pay Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk and Quentin Lake. I mean, that is the biggest issue with the Rams defense, is the future. Because right now, they are so dominant. Interesting Kyron Blake split, by the way. 50-50. 12 carries for Kyron for 54. 12 carries for 37 with Blake. I don't think we've yet to see anything that close. I don't know where this came from. Personally, I wouldn't have done it because I thought Kyron was just better in the run game. But I thought Blake had his moments and had a nice rep in pass pro that deserved some love. So, yeah, right now, the Rams have to feel just absolutely over the moon. The way they came out, they just absolutely dominated this game. And now it makes you wonder, do you even have to do anything at the trade deadline? Because I don't really think you do, but it is your opportunity to get better and maybe plug up something that could be a problem later on that's not currently a problem. So that's the interesting thing. I saw in the comment, Blake spammed the spin move. He did. I don't know what he was doing today, but he really wanted to spin, I guess. The Rams' upcoming next 5 games are the Saints off the bye, the 49ers, I'll be there. Seattle, sounds like I'll be there too. We'll see. More to come. The Buccaneers game, and then at SoFi, that's a Sunday night game, and then the Panthers in Carolina, where the Panthers just simply don't lose. So it's looking like I'll be at another game, folks. So if you missed out on meeting me, and I know a lot of you did, you messaged me and what have you, I'll be at the 49er game in Santa Clara. I'll be at the Lions game in SoFi. And it sounds like I'll be at the Seahawks game as well. And I know Alexis will be there as well. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But it's sounding like I'll be in the Seattle game, and I'll get to see the what the hell is it called? Midnight mode? Yeah. I just call it the black uniform, as you can see behind me. But, yeah. Let's see. So, I forgot what I wanted to bring up. Well, let me first start off by saying something. Anyway, welcome to JE Live. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. If you're new here, welcome. We just went over 32,000 subscribers. Couldn't do that without you guys. So I really do appreciate that. Word of mouth really gets around, and I know you guys have been spreading it around. So I really do appreciate you guys. And yeah, let's get to 40K, because that's the next like milestone that we can really celebrate. We'll celebrate every mini milestone, but the 40K, that's gonna be cool. 50K, that's gonna be something else. But yeah, I'm excited, really excited from what I saw today. Again, I had 28-22. I thought this was gonna be a really good win, and you know we'd move on, whatever. But this was something. And it's also hot as hell in here, so I'm going to use my fan. When you have this much technology going, you have the giant light, like the sun shining down on you, it does make it pretty hot. So, this is a great, and I'm going to get to super chats here in a sec. Oh, okay, let's do game balls. Stafford, for sure. Matthew Stafford. It's going to sound homer because what's around me, because what I'm wearing, but Matthew Stafford on October 19th is the best quarterback in the NFL. That's how I feel. I don't know who else is making that throw to Devontae Adams, the first touchdown pass. I think it was actually the second touchdown pass. I think Matthew Stafford is just on another level. I really do. I think currently he is the best quarterback in the NFL. He might not have the most raw talent, but he's the best. I would take him over Mahomes. I'd take him over Josh Allen right now. I'd take him over anybody. There's not one quarterback I would take over. And why would I? Why would I take any quarterback over Matthew Stafford when this guy's getting rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds, which is like the fastest in the league, and he's been used to not playing with an offensive line, and now he has some semblance of an offensive line, and he's so used to not playing with one that his like quick trigger, like, you know, that alert is on, and it just no. Like, I wouldn't take anybody over Matthew Stafford right now. Nobody. Not a single quarterback in the league. Not a single quarterback in the league I would take over Matthew Stafford. Not a single one. And I want to bring up something. I don't know if you guys noticed. Matthew Stafford, I mentioned the quick trigger, right? I noticed Matthew Stafford, because he's a veteran, he likes to get rid of the ball quickly. And it's almost like you could see him kind of like he knows, okay, it's been 2.5. I'm about to get hit. And he'll dirt the ball. I thought today, guys, Matthew Stafford was better than ever as far as the quick trigger, the alert, and then getting rid of the ball, but actually finding a target instead of giving up on the play. It's where I feel like the veteran in him sometimes gives up on plays because he's trying to make the smart move to play another down. You look at the Kyron play to get the first down. He has nothing there. He's hesitating, and then dumps it off. Then he did it another time, and then the best time I've ever seen him do it. He's sitting there. He has pressure. He's about to dirt the ball. You can see him. He's about to get rid of it. And just peeling open is Colby Parkinson, and he delivers a strike, puts it right on the money. Parkinson runs and almost gets a touchdown. Probably should have had a touchdown. That was kind of BS. I feel for him. Anyway, point being, Stafford wasn't just dirting the ball today. Stafford was like kind of, he was on his heels or on his toes, whatever, like really alert, like ready to get rid of it. But then he found somebody, I thought, like better than he's ever done it. There were times where like he even jumped and looked like he was going to do like a jump pass or whatever. And then he hesitated and then he finally threw it. Like, I haven't seen him look that good in a while. That was so impressive. The 5 touchdown passes, I'm so glad he was able to accomplish that because that is what I watched. I like when the stats match what I watched because the way I see it is not everybody's going to watch this game. So when I go and I tell somebody that, yeah, Matthew Stafford just balled the hell out, I like when I can say, yeah, you can just, if you don't get a chance to watch the game, look at the box score, look at his numbers. And his numbers show he balled out 5 touchdowns. So, yeah, yards are nice, but the defense was so dominant and they kept going for it on 4th down that really the offense is starting at the 40 or the 50 every time. There wasn't going to be a lot of yards. That's what happens. The Jags were so dominated that there wasn't a lot of yards to begin with. The Jaguars on 4th down went 2 for 6. The Rams stopped them 4 times. And Aiden, I see the 13 personnel, so I appreciate you throwing that out there. Yeah, I love that. We'll get more into that. But yeah, back to Adrian here, game balls, then we're going to do super chats. Anyway, so game balls, Stafford for sure. I'm going to give a game ball to Devontae Adams. This dude owns the Jaguars. He just owns them. All he does is catch touchdowns against the Jaguars. He's never had a game against the Jacksonville Jaguars where he hasn't caught a touchdown. And the last 3 times now, he's had at least 2 touchdowns. He absolutely owns them in the red zone. So Devontae Adams gets a game ball for catching 3 touchdowns. Game ball, I'm going to say, I'm going to go with, Let's see. Who do I want to go with on defense? Darius Williams for sure. Darius Williams, and I'm going to go with I kind of want to go with Q Lake. Darius Williams, Q Lake, and then I could go with Kinchins too, but I'm going to go with Darius Williams, Q Lake, and then give me one more. I'm going to go with Jared Verse. I think his pass rush, he only had 1 sack. He probably could have a bunch, but his pass rush really kind of dictated this game. It really forced them to have to go over, and now all of a sudden I'm chipping Jared Verse. All of a sudden I'm putting a running back on Jared Verse and pass pro. It's opening up the door for others. So I thought Jared Verse was great today. Truly. It's just, So, yeah. All right, let's get to super chats. Vic, thank you for the 2. Boy, was that worth waking up for at 6:30. So that was my issue with the London game. You gotta be fair to the audience. The Rams' main audience is Los Angeles. You might be watching from St. Louis. You might be like me and in New York, but I'm not ignorant to the fact that the Rams are the Los Angeles Rams. I didn't like that now everybody on the West Coast has to get up at 6 just to watch their team play football on Sunday. That seemed insane to me, but it worked out well. And if you got up, if you made it, if you didn't oversleep, you saw a hell of a game. And that is the best way to start off your day, watching your team absolutely bludgeon another good team. And this is essentially, they said, based on record, this was, if not the best matchup ever, it was one of the best matchups ever between two teams that had good records. So I think it's only the second time in London game history or international game history that both teams were 2 games above 500. So to win a game like that, yeah, 35 points. Goodness gracious. John, and thanks again for the super chat. John, our guys seemed they could have scored even more. I agree, John. Yeah, I mean, I think the big issue was the lack of execution in the third quarter. I thought Sean McVay was still calling a pretty good game, in the third quarter, and I understood they didn't get a first down until the fourth quarter. They didn't even have one the second half. But yeah, I really liked what I saw in that fourth quarter to kind of recover from the third. But the third, everything was there. McVay, I thought, drew up some really good plays. I like the play calls. The execution wasn't. Stafford, missed some throws, sure, but Stafford also had guys drop passes. I understand it was a very slick day. Like, the weather wasn't great. It was rainy the whole time, so that probably had something to do with it. Andrew Wingard, I don't know if he can cover without holding, because I felt like he held Tyler Higbee every single time out. But yeah, that third quarter was a little frustrating, but aside from that, I thought he called a great game. So yeah, I agree with you. They could have scored even more. The drops hurt them in that department. Zaylor Swift, thank you for the 5. Tight ends played very well this week. Q Lake played well. Glad to see Adam dominate in the red areas. Now who we trading for? See, that's the thing, and I appreciate the super. I don't know if we're going to see a trade. And I don't think they need one. Now, understand, need and want are 2 different things. You can want something, but I don't think they're going to necessarily need a trade. I definitely don't think they need a trade. I'll just put it that way. I don't think they need a trade. Like, sure, there's some things like, yeah, it might be nice to do this, that, whatever, but I don't think they need a trade. You don't want to just trade just to trade. And we're not even the best team in our division is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They absolutely are the best team in the division. There's no question in my mind they are better than the 49ers, and there's no question in my mind they're better than Seattle. No question. So, yeah, I like Mumfield, man. He can create separation. He's a natural hands catcher, and I understand that sounds like a casual take, but it's a real take. He doesn't just let it just drop into the body. The weird thing about today is people are going to probably overreact. And I'll tell you right now, it's because of fantasy football. It's because of betting. People are going to be upset that, like, for instance, Jordan Whittington only had 2 catches, 9 yards. For instance, Tutu Atwell didn't have a catch. Today's game was just weird. When you have the field possession as well as it was, Tutu Atwell, who you like using as a deep threat, well, now he doesn't really have those opportunities now, does he? I mean, he had one opportunity and created a really nice opportunity where he drew a long pass interference call. But aside from that, they had good field position almost every single drive, it seemed like. So, yeah, Tutu Atwell and I also don't think Tutu Atwell was 100%. He was dealing with the what the hell is it called? The hamstring. And then he was limited. So, like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they were kind of cutting back on him specifically because of the injury. Because we saw a lot of Xavier Smith, I thought, later in the game. So that probably had something to do with it. Retro Schmetro, thank you for the super, says Victory Shades. All right, so here's the deal on the Victory Shades, okay? I don't wear them because my shades aren't the same prescription as these. These are my new prescription. I got these new glasses, whatever. I can't see shit with the shades. I had that realization the other day and I was like, oh my God, I can't see anything. So I don't know if I'm going to wear them, but maybe I will just for the hell of it. But thank you, Retro. Majin Hayes, thank you as always for becoming a member. That's my best friend right there. I'm not going to disclose your name, but because clearly you want to be under an alias, but thank you, my friend. Roger, thank you for becoming a member. Roger, appreciate you. Yeah, it was really cool hanging out with you and getting to meet you. And hopefully I see you one of the times that I'm coming to LA, which it sounds like now 2 more. So we'll see. Mr. Hardcore, thank you for the 5. So are we in your opinion they go for it on 4th down team in the red zone at this point? Oh, that's an interesting way of wording that. Okay, so yeah. And it has nothing to do with Cardi. My thing is, I think their offense is that good that, like, they should probably do what Dan Campbell does. That's how I feel. Think about it. When you go for it on 4th down, you have the best quarterback in the NFL and MVP currently in Matthew Stafford, throwing to the best wide receiver in the NFL when healthy, Puka Nacua, one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game in Devontae Adams. And you also have a running back who is probably one of the more reliable and consistent and productive running backs the last 2 years in Kyren Williams. Like, why wouldn't you go for it? Pass protection has been a lot better lately. Their run blocking is really good. I mean, why wouldn't you go for it? I don't know. That's just my thought. But that's a great point. John, loving this game. Need Niners and P-Hawks losses. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Niners win. I think Seattle wins. And I think Arizona wins later today against the Packers. Could be wrong, but that's what I see, man. That is what I see. Like I said, I could be wrong. No, back to back. Thank you, John. Temple Hills Funk. Number 9 has always turned no names into household names. That's true. That's true. So, yeah, he's special, man. He's probably one of the more, if he's not the most underrated quarterback of all time, he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks of all time. I would agree with that for sure. Let's see. Great game. Stafford is having phenomenal season. I'm glad I got his midnight jersey. Let's go. Derek, thank you. And I appreciate it. And I totally agree. Stafford is just so fun to watch. When he's in his bag, he is in his bag. You can't beat him. He just looks like he's seeing red out there. And that's the thing. And honestly, Sean McVay. I thought Sean McVay was really in his bag in this game. Using more 13 personnel as brought up earlier, which is 3 tight ends, in case you don't know. He used 13 personnel today more than he used it from 2021 to 2024. See, to me, this is why he may have his flaws. He may frustrate you, but Sean McVay is clearly the best coach in the NFL. Because I get his play calling. If he's fixed his red zone play calling, watch out. He sees the game from all levels. He's not just biased to his position group, his offense. He has teams prepared. Like, very rarely do I feel like the Rams just weren't prepared. I never feel that way. He is undefeated in London. And he's got such a stranglehold, not in a bad way, like a stamp, if you will, in the GM room. Like, he and Snead work so well together. And then you have the decision making, and I do think he makes some really good decisions, and the aggressiveness to keep the offense on the field on a few of those was really impressive. So I give him a lot of credit. What was I going to say? A beautiful 6:30 a.m. experience watching the Rams dominate. Would you sit Puka again for the Saints game so the others can find their rhythm? Interesting. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate the super. I'll say this. I personally wouldn't sit Puka if he's 100%. But if he's not 100%, then I wouldn't play him. There's no need to force Puka Nacua to play against the New Orleans Saints, with all due respect, if he's not 100%. If he is, he should play. If he isn't, and he's clearly banged up, he should not play. That's how I would look at it. But no, I don't think they need to keep him out to make the offense more. I think you just get one game, you know. If he's back after the bye, he's back after the bye, is what it is. You get one game, and yeah. John, love Devontae getting tight with Stafford. Timing. Yeah, the timing was really important here. And I think that's something that you take away from this game. And you say, look, like, yeah, do I wish Devontae Adams had more than, what was it? 35 yards on 5 catches? Sure. But the 3 touchdowns, all 3 of those touchdowns required timing. Precise timing and accuracy. And Stafford, not just general accuracy, pinpoint accuracy. And Stafford and Adams seem to be on the right page. This is why I think today was so important. See, 35-7 isn't just to make fans happy. When you're able to go down the field and you're able to put up points and you're able to consistently sustain drives and put together touchdowns instead of field goals, well, now you're building on that. That's the big thing for me, is that the more you continue to build, well, there you go. So that's where I'm at on that. It's a really good sign for the Rams. To be able to move the ball like that, to be able to finish in the red zone 4 out of 4. The biggest issue last week was they're just not finishing in the red zone. If they finish in the red zone against the 49ers, they win the game. If they do it against the Eagles more, they win the game. That has been the issue. That's been the hidden issue. Sure, we're talking about special teams, but special teams doesn't even come into play if they do their job when they get into the red area. So, yeah. Joe, thank you for the 2. Is McVay a better play caller without Puka? I wouldn't say that. I would say he might be more diverse without Puka. No, he's definitely more diverse without Puka, but I don't know if he's a better play caller because the way he uses Puka is really smart too. I love some of the clear outs that he put in there. The seam shot to Ferguson, getting Mumfield. Mumfield's already involved, dude. Like, the freaking sky is the limit with him. He's already getting out there and catching a touchdown. Like, he's being utilized as a blocker. He's got a role on this team. I was disappointed Jordan Whittington didn't get more. He had 4 targets, only caught 2 for 9. Would have liked to see more usage with him. But the reality is, this is one of those games where Colby Parkinson leads the team in receiving. You don't look too much into the receiving. You look at who scored the touchdowns, how many they scored in the case of Adams, and you look at who won the game. And Stafford threw 5 touchdowns today. So you got to feel really good about that. So then, dress them but let them heal. Well, I don't know if that makes sense, because if you were to put Puka out there in uniform, now somebody else can't play. So I don't know if I agree with that. Thank you for the super. I really want to see AD come back and destroy teams like JV and BY. Also, I don't know why Stafford still isn't at the top in the MVP. Well, he is now. Anyone that wants to act like Stafford isn't the MVP after this game, maybe you just overslept and you didn't wake up in time to watch it, because he was absolutely insane. They got good corners, man. They got good. Don't for a second be like, oh, it's just the Jacksonville Jaguars. No, that's bullshit. They got good corners. I talked about it in my video. I mean, they really do. They have good corners. Like, that's the thing. Like, Travis Hunter is a baller, okay? He's really good. He's the Ohtani of this league. He might not ever reach the Ohtani level, like where we're talking about him being the best player in the league, but he is essentially that two-way player. He's legitimate. He's not just a novelty. It's like Ohtani. It's not like he's just going out there and having a 5 ERA. He's striking out 9 to 10 batters and then going up and hitting 3 home runs in the same game. That is not a novelty. That is actually impacting the game on a two-way level. Travis Hunter has played 139 snaps before this game at wide corner, just went over 100 yards today, and had a huge pass breakup on Devontae Adams. 84.2 targeted passer rating, which isn't the best, but it's not the worst. Montaric Brown in this game, going into this game, he had a pretty good passer rating when targeted, 62.2. And Jordan Lewis had a 70.3. So, like, these guys are covering. This is a good bunch of corners. Let's not kid ourselves. Newsome is not bad either. Like, obviously, they just acquired him. So what they were doing against a good secondary talent on the Jags, I mean, I'll tell you right now, it definitely is a statement made. People can say what they want, you know, and what people want to say and what they actually feel are two different things sometimes. I'll tell you right now, if I'm a 49er fan, see, they might not show it, but there's no way they're feeling good after this. They're like, oh shit, we lost to this team. A close game. They just decimated them. What's going to happen when the Rams play us next? And Seattle. Yeah, we beat them 20-12. Kind of similar to the Rams, but we didn't finish the way the Rams did. It's interesting. Very interesting. Matthew, thank you for the super. Said 34-17 on DTR. Got our score right anyways. Figured a dominant game, just not that dominant. Thought we'd give up 2 big plays instead of 1. Interesting. Matthew, good stuff on that. I thought a blowout was possible, but I wasn't going to predict it because I'm never going to predict the blowout again. It never works for me. So, yeah. That's where I stand on that. Let's see. Oh, what's going on around the league now that we got all the supers? We got 13-0 Bears on the Saints. Chiefs are up 14-0 on the Raiders. That's not a surprise. The Mike Vrabel Return Bowl we got 10-10. Cam Ward is playing lights out against Drake May, who's also playing lights out. Ramondre Stevenson's actually running well. So that's cool. Browns are bludgeoning the Dolphins 17-3. Quinshawn Judkins already has 77 yards, and it's the middle of the second quarter. They're the worst run defense I've ever seen. The Panthers, for whatever reason, are giving Chuba Hubbard more carries than Rico Dowdle. Idiotic. After Dowdle broke the record for their franchise. So that's 3-3 against the Jets. Kind of feel like the Jets are going to win this game if they don't start using Dowdle. What else? Eagles are up 14-3 on the Vikings. Wentz has 2 interceptions. Not good. So much for that revenge game there. And that's it. Wow, a lot of 4 o'clock games. There's 5? 4. Okay. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of games today because we got that stupid Monday night doubleheader. And those games probably would have been in the 1 o'clock, at least one of them would have been in the 1 o'clock slate. Maybe both. So, yeah. I love them spreading the ball around. John, I completely agree. And I think that is the name of the game. If you're able to spread the ball around like that, then you're able to impact the game because now everybody has to worry about every part of the field instead of just focusing and keying in on a few different guys. So, absolutely agree. Love that. You get a pass if it's the alcohol talking. I don't know what this is in reference to, but I gave up drinking I don't know, 5-6 months ago. So definitely not the alcohol talking. Maybe it's even early. I think it might be even further than that. Maybe 7 months ago. Feels like I haven't had a drink in a long time. But anyway, what was it? No, I'm just zonked. I'm tired. That's where I'm at. I'm sure you guys can figure that out. But all right. Want to give a special shout out to today's sponsor, Sleeper. That looks terrible. No idea what we're doing here. There we go. Thanks, StreamYard. Sick. Yeah, shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this video and the channel. You guys can use the code JKB at sign up. Link is in the description below. And you'll get a 100% match up to $100. And if you hurry now, well, not hurry, but I mean, you could still do it. There's a bunch of 4 o'clock games. So as far as the 4 o'clock goes, some guys that I like if you want to use Sleeper and use daily fantasy here. I like Evan Ingram against his former team, the Giants. I like that Washington-Dallas game, I like everybody. I mean, who don't you like? Right? I mean, Javonte Williams, Bill Krosky-Merritt. I like Luke McCaffrey in that one. He's slated to start against a porous Dallas secondary. Dallas is getting CeeDee Lamb back, so I mean, I like all of them. And probably George Kittle coming back on the Sunday night game. George Kittle. And Jonathan Taylor more no matter what it says, because Jonathan Taylor just continues to run the football well. So, yeah, also be sure to use the $20 entry if you haven't already. Free $20 entry, no deposit needed. So, yeah, I had his Sleeper. Check him out. Description below. Just figured since Brandon was hammered, you were too. Nope. No, I definitely was not. Yeah, he was. I was certainly not. No. My thing is, I have never been that big into drinking, so I just kind of got over it. And then I got obsessed with my health and losing weight that I just don't even want a chance gaining weight again. So that's really the reason. And I never really cared for it that much. I only drank because I liked the taste of beer at the time, but yeah, that's pretty much that. Bella, thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate that. And we got John saying, love Sleeper. Well, John, Sleeper loves you too, as do I. JE Fitness Live, yeah, we about that. I mean, you guys already know. I feel like a broken record, but people ask me, like, I lost 25 pounds. So, yeah, it's not something you would probably notice on camera, but it was a big deal to me. There we go, right? I thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. Why don't I like that Dan Campbell says you're good enough for Detroit? Genuinely asking. Because I felt like it was just a dig for the Rams. Look, the Rams traded Jared Goff because he simply wasn't good enough to win a Super Bowl. And Matthew Stafford took a year to prove that. Just 1 year in LA. He proved that. He proved that essentially the missing piece was always at quarterback. The problem is we don't talk about this nearly enough because we just look at, no dice, fell incomplete, right? No dice. They lost in the Super Bowl. They lost in the wild card. They lost in the divisional round. But the reality is those are years that you can't get back. See, a good example of this, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl years that team was not the best. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls years that the Giants didn't even win their division. So when you get an opportunity and you see how damn hard it is to keep everyone together, I was just talking about how hard it's going to be to pay this defense. So when you look at how dominant this defense is and how everybody's going to get paid and it's going to be hard to keep everyone together, you have to strike while the iron's hot. There's no like, yeah, at least we made the NFC title game. Like, no, you have to strike while the iron's hot. You need to win the Super Bowl. So the problem was in 2020, the Rams had the best defense I think we've ever seen in their franchise history. It was insane. They were number one in like everything. They had that incredible defense, and Jared Goff was like dinking and dunking, and all of his confidence was gone, and he wasn't going deep down the field, and he was turning the ball over, and he was just playing carelessly. And that was holding back an elite defense with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods getting a year older. That's an issue. You look at 2019, and yeah, there were some definitely injuries, but you got to make the playoffs that year. You can't miss the playoffs. And then 2018, you have to win the Super Bowl that year. You can't just not win the Super Bowl. You have to make that throw to not Jared Cook. Good Lord. Brandon Cooks. You have to make that throw to Brandon Cooks, right? So that's the thing, is that you only have so long to take advantage of an Aaron Donald. They only won 1 Super Bowl with Donald. They only won 1. That is how hard it is to win. And when you finally put together a team that we have put together a team that should win. We made the investment to get Jalen Ramsey. We need to win a Super Bowl with that. We went out and got Von Miller. We need to win a Super Bowl with that. If you did all of that and then you didn't win against the Bengals and Jared Goff was your quarterback, well, there you go. So, GH, that's kind of where I'm getting at. I just felt like it was a dig at the Rams. And my thing is, I don't think they were bad about Jared Goff. I get tired of the Rams are the bad guys because they gave up on Goff. They traded away the younger guy for the older guy. They did it because Goff was incapable of getting them over the hump. He still hasn't gotten the Lions over the hump. They literally had 15 wins last year and couldn't win a playoff game in Detroit. They lost to a team that no one expected to go that far in the Commanders. They lost to a rookie quarterback. So that's just kind of how I look at it, is that the Rams are not the bad guys. They made a business decision. We always hear how it's a business, but then a team makes a business decision and now they're the bad guys. And oh my God, the Rams made a business decision. It was the right decision, as evidenced by literally the following season. And yet there's this whole victim mentality, like the Rams wronged him when they paid him money and he regressed. They paid Jared Goff to be 2017, 2018 Jared Goff, and he never looked like that again. So that's how I feel, truthfully. great question. I just figured I'd hash it out and explain why I feel the way I feel. You know? Yeah, see, that I agree with you completely. Everyone talks about how even the trade is, yeah, if your priorities are to win in the league and just like win games and just be fun to watch, then yeah, absolutely I could understand how you could think the Lions did such a great job in that trade. Personally, for me, all I care about is winning Super Bowls, okay? The Rams are no different than the Dodgers, the Yankees, any organization like that, right? The Lakers, the Celtics, the Rams, with everything they've done, they have now put themselves in that territory as an organization where it is Super Bowl or bust. I don't care what anyone says. That's how I feel. I understand that's hard to hear, but that's how I feel. There's no way you can tell me as a Dodger fan, I know a lot of you are, there's no way you could tell me that you are not a World Series or bust team. There's no way you can tell me you would be okay going to the World Series and losing. It is World Series or bust for the Dodgers. It is World Series or bust for the Yankees. It's Super Bowl or bust for the Los Angeles Rams. That's how it is. That is the standard that has been set by Matthew Stafford, not Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, right? I mean, think about everything that had to go down for Stafford to somehow find a way to win that Super Bowl against the Bengals. The Rams could be a team that didn't win the Super Bowl, and Sean McVay, we're still talking about 9 years of being one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in the NFL, and he doesn't have a ring. So you got to strike while the iron's hot, and for me, that's why I'm like, the way Stafford is playing right now, there is no trade that is worth as much or more than what the Rams got out of Stafford. There's just no trade. There's nothing. There's nothing you can tell me. Even if the Lions, you add Penei Sewell to the mix and everything, if they never won a Super Bowl, I don't care how many players you got. I don't care how good your team looks on paper. This guy was the guy, the final missing piece. He was the final infinity stone in the gauntlet to get the job done. That's what he was. And here we are, and everybody under the sun that doesn't watch Rams football on a weekly basis like we do is always trying to tell us how, well, enjoy another year of Stafford because he's not going to be around forever. And we know that. And yet all he continues to do is exceed expectations. That's all he does. That is all Matthew Stafford sets out to do. He just exceeds expectations. Matthew Stafford has 17 touchdowns this year. He had 20 in 2024. He had 24 in 2023. He is on his way to having a better season than he did in 2021. That is a fact. If he stays healthy, that's a fact. 49er fans out there are literally praying for this man to get injured. They're not going to tell you it, but they are praying for this man to get hurt because they know that's the only chance they have of not seeing the Rams win this division and the Super Bowl on their turf. That is the only thing stopping the Rams from not winning the Super Bowl is if Stafford gets banged up. It's the only thing. He is absolutely, he's worth everything and more. But that's why I laugh, because it's like, so he's this good and we've established this, but then we're going to act like Jared Goff was wronged? How? The Rams upgraded their quarterback position, the most important position on the team. This is exactly my feeling. If the Lions, because actually, perfect example. I was just saying how you got to strike while the iron's hot. You had Ben Johnson stay 2 years when he absolutely would have had a head coaching job anywhere. He stayed 2 extra years and they couldn't get it done. Was it all on Jared Goff? No. But were they a Matthew Stafford away from probably winning a Super Bowl or two? Yes. There you go. What's so funny is that I don't have any issue with like Lions fans in general. It's just certain Lions fans. But I remember Lions fans throwing shade on Ben Johnson. Like, how dare he go and get a head coaching job? He's like, he stuck it out with you guys for 2 years. Can you imagine if the Rams had Kevin O'Connell in 2022 over Liam Cohen? We're not talking about Liam Cohen now. We're talking about Liam Cohen then. Like, could you imagine if Kevin O'Connell stuck it out for 2 years with the Rams, turned down head coaching jobs, and then he left, and then the Rams fans booed him for leaving? That's insane. But the Lions and Rams have a date in SoFi in December. And we'll see. What's up, Alan? I thought Braden Fisk played really well. I think he's played really well. I think the tape shows that. He won 20% of his pass rushing reps last week. I mean, there are a lot of people getting on him because I think they just want sacks. But if he's creating that much havoc, that much pressure, it's getting other guys involved. I'm okay with it. I think he's looked really good. And again, I can't stress enough. I feel like too many people don't realize he had a serious injury, guys. A serious injury in January. It's like a blessing that he was able to come back, but a curse that he came back without missing time, because now the fan expectations on Braden Fisk are just absolutely ridiculous. Like, this dude would have missed 8 to 10 weeks in a season, maybe the whole season, if it was during the regular season. He came back, didn't miss a game. So, yeah. Oh, more supers. Asai Calderon, thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate you. John, I feel our team is in one accord. Special. Yeah, I love watching. I just love watching this team. I truly do. As frustrating as they can be at times, and they can definitely be frustrating. I don't take them for granted, and I don't think anybody should, for that matter. You know, you should not take this team for granted. This is what I was saying throughout the week. The narrative I wanted it to be was, hey, I'm not making excuses, and I'm not just trying to, cope, as the kids call it. But I'll be the first one to tell you that when I came back away from watching the Ravens game, I was really impressed with what I saw. I was more impressed than I thought I would be. I thought the Ravens game was pure dominance, and I thought it was a step in the right direction and showed that the defense had figured something out and had rectified their issues against the 49ers. And sure enough, then we get this. And all of a sudden, the defense looks dominant again. So there you go. McVay eased on the throttle. Good win. Thank you, Harry. I don't know if I would say he eased on the throttle. So let's talk about it. Comment section, drop whether or not you would have gone for it or you would have kneeled it at the half. Me personally, I would have gone for it, but I understood why they didn't. And the reason I say that is because you are coming off a 4th down stop of Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. They're down 21-0. Their spirits have been broken. You have it's like close to 2 minutes, whatever. I still would have gone down and tried to kick a field goal or something, right? But here's the problem. If you go down and kick a field goal, what if it gets blocked? You hurt Josh Carty's confidence. You hurt your special teams confidence more. You give up a touchdown. You give him something to get back into it. Now you have already stabilized. You have a 3-touchdown lead going into half. It wasn't like they were at the 40 or 50 yard line. I don't think people are realizing they would have had to go like 80 yards to score a touchdown. So I would have still gone for it, but I understand why they didn't. And I kind of feel like it might have been the right move. As far as that goes, I'll say this. I think McVay might have been a little too aggressive. And that's why guys were, dropping passes. Now you're relying more on like those longer third downs. And even on the shorter third downs, like kind of trying to throw deep past the sticks. I don't have any issue with the way Sean McVay called. I thought he called a great game today. I thought there was poor execution in the third quarter, and it turned around in the fourth. Higbee had some drops, but were those Higbees, or was that because the ball was slick? Because everybody was dropping passes in the second half. So that's kind of how I look at it. John, I feel McVay will go down in history as a GOAT. I agree with you. Harry is correct. Yeah, I'd push back a little bit. I don't think he eased on the throttle. Because they don't end up with 35 if he eases on the throttle. And I'll tell you right now, that third touchdown to Devontae Adams, the McVay in the past probably just kneels it down. Runs it out. Man, coming out the bye, though, you get Terrence Ferguson and Mumfield, their first touchdowns of their career right before the bye. Coming out of it, I think they're going to start using Ferguson more. Man, Josiah Stewart looks like a freaking animal. I love watching him play. Mumfield, by the way, wasn't just the touchdown catch. He was winning his reps. I don't know if you guys saw, I can't wait to watch the tape, but Mumfield was just absolutely breaking ankles every which way. And there were a lot of people that said, well, Jake, they don't trust Cardi. And I'm not saying that like they do. I don't know for sure if they do or not. But I'll be the first one to tell you that what it comes down to is those situations, they should have gone on fourth down. They should have kept the offense on the field. I didn't have any issue with any of those. None whatsoever. I agreed with every single one. So yeah. That's by the way, score update. Kansas City's up 21-0. New England's up 17-13 on Tennessee. Carolina scored a touchdown. Rare, but Xavier Legette caught a touchdown. Cleveland's up 17-3 on Miami. Chicago is now up 20-0 on the Saints. Not looking good. What else? Eagles are up 14-6 on the Vikings, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's all I got. So those are your score updates. Bella, thank you for the 2. I appreciate you. Yeah, guys, really appreciate everyone being in here and doing this. I understand it's super early, especially on the West Coast. Definitely kind of new to this. Obviously, we won't be doing live streams this early ever again, unless they play in London. But they are expected to play in Australia. What is the time there? Is that going to be an early morning game in Australia? Is that not? I'm not really sure. I know. I want it to be a Carson Wentz revenge game, too. It just doesn't look like we're going to get that. But who knows, man? Who knows? Anything's possible. They got Brian Flores' defense. The Vikings can make some plays. And it also is a Isaiah Rodgers matchup as well. Former Eagle that they didn't bring back. And then apparently the media was given false info on the whole situation. He quote tweeted him about it. I don't know. I do too. I mean, I'll say this, his extra points look good today. Can't hate him on the extra points, so. I thought it was Mac Jones. I thought Brock Purdy's out, I thought. Did that change? No, Purdy's out. They're hopefully he can return in week 8, but won't rush him back. Yeah, I just don't know why you would worry about Brock Purdy. He's not playing well. Mac Jones looks better. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I think Mac Jones is the better quarterback right now, currently. You saw something on Twitter? Well, I mean, I got to be honest with you. I'm not conflicted at all. I am definitely rooting for the Falcons tonight. I don't care about the draft pick. Definitely going to root for the Falcons over the 49ers. 49ers are going to win. I have no doubt in my mind that the 49ers are going to win, but yeah. No doubt in my mind. I mean, I guess a tie. I don't know. No. I want the 49ers to lose. I want the Rams to have first place like they deserve to have. They should be the first place team in the NFC West. I still think the Niners win. I still think Seattle wins. I still think Arizona wins. The defense has only given up 10 points, by the way, the last 2 weeks. And people will be like, well, they only played against the Ravens and Jaguars. Well, yeah, the Jaguars have 4 wins. Wait, who picked the Jaguars? Did Jesse pick the Jaguars? Really? My issue with the Falcons is that they have not played well on the road yet. So I don't remember if Jesse picked the Rams or the Jags. Feels so unlike Jesse to pick the Jags. My friend Chris, I'll see you soon. What was it, 3 weeks from now? Yep, 3 weeks. Great win. Love so much about this game. Only concern was not going for more points before the half. Yeah, I mean, you know you had a good day at the office, and it was a great 24-hour business trip when you come away with a 35-7 win, and the only thing that people are saying is, well, you know, I would have liked more points. Yeah. Yeah, see, Alan, I thought Jesse picked the Rams, yeah. Yeah, show of hands in the chat. Who's tired in here? Am I the only one that's absolutely exhausted? I am so tired. It's insane. Hopefully I'm giving you guys a show. But I'm like dead. And I'm on the East Coast. So like it was 9:30. I can't even imagine you guys on the West Coast 6:30. You kidding me? Yeah, so I can't have coffee because I'm caffeine intolerant. So I just kind of have to deal with it. Oh man. It's kind of funny. Because I see that all the time. Oh yeah, I had coffee. It's like, oh yeah, I can't. My heart will explode. 3:30 a.m. for Hawaii. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. No, Jordan Lewis, he's a really good corner, but yeah, he had a rough time today. Felt like he was getting flown all over the field. He was getting ragdolled. Guys are breaking tackles or running him over, breaking his ankles. First game, Saints, Bears killing 20-0. Jeez. For any Jaguars fans that are in here, by the way, shout out to you guys. Appreciate the supers. Any Jaguars fans that are in here, I have literally I'm 7-0 when picking Jaguars games. Okay? 7-0. They have the Raiders next, so you guys are going to be 5-3. And then they're going to lose to the Texans, so you'll be 5-4. You'll beat the Chargers 6-4. You'll beat the Cardinals 7-4. Titans 8-4. You'll lose to the Colts 8-5. Beat the Jets 9-5. Lose to the Broncos 9-6. Lose to the Colts 9-7. Beat the Titans 10-7. There you go. You might have wanted more than 10 wins, but all I could give you was 10. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not a Trevor Lawrence guy. Today is a great example as to why I'm not a fan of Trevor Lawrence. I think he's just kind of okay. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just okay. He can make wow throws, but the problem is, I was just having this conversation with Blaine. There's a lot of people that told people that Trevor Lawrence was the greatest quarterback prospect ever. They acted like he was the greatest thing ever. And now they refuse to admit that he is a draft bust. He was not worth the number one overall pick. He has not put together any sort of statistical output that would be considered a number one overall pick. He is a draft bust, but he's like Alex Smith. You draft him in the first overall pick, and yeah, is he a first overall pick? No. But he's had a decent career. But I mean, at the same time, what is decent? Are you going to win Super Bowls with decent? No, you're not. You're not. Trevor Lawrence, for his career, has over 15,000 passing yards, 77 touchdowns, 51 interceptions, and an 84.7 passer rating until today. I think that'll probably go up to 84.8 maybe. But anyway, the point being, he has an under 85 passer rating for his career. So he's just kind of like, yeah, Mark Brunell. I'm going to look up his numbers. I don't want to sell him short or sell Trevor Lawrence short here. So, okay. He's literally Mark Brunell. That's hilarious, dude. 84 passer rating. He had an 85.4 with the Jags. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, dude. Brunell wasn't a bad player. It's just, yeah, he's not anything special. Oh, no. I'm not debating that. Trevor Lawrence has an absolutely insane arm. But, I don't want anything to do with Trevor Lawrence. And Sean McVay would be ripping his hair out because Trevor Lawrence is so similar to Jared Goff, but I don't think he's as good as Jared Goff. Like, he has kind of that same style of quarterback play. He's faster. But, like, I don't think he's as good as Goff. Yeah, we finally saw T-Ferg get going. I'm so happy about that, man. That makes me really happy. Man, I don't know about you guys, but all of a sudden, Cam Ward looks really good. I mean, he always looked good. I always said the tape, whatever. They got rid of Brian Callahan. Now all of a sudden, this offense is moving the football. The more you know. It is interesting how that works. I did call the Mumfield touchdown. I also said 2 touchdowns for Devontae Adams, not in the bold prediction thing. I just was telling you, if I have 28-22, I have 4 touchdowns. I had 2 to Devontae Adams, 1 at Mumfield, and 1 to Whittington, which didn't happen. Didn't know that Adams was going to get 3. But before the season started, do you guys remember what I said? I said Devontae Adams is going to lead the league in receiving touchdowns. And he's got 6 now. So he caught up today a decent amount. Still, I don't think that is the lead. Nope, he's tied for the lead. How about that? I said before the season, Devontae Adams will lead the league in receiving touchdowns. And Puka will lead the league in receiving yards. And they'll both have over 1,200, but Puka will have way more. I know Adams got robbed a few times, man. I don't know if there are any trades at the deadline that they're going to make. I think this is very justifiable, Frank. Yeah, I do. I mean, the block in the back wiped away a touchdown, in my opinion. That was clearly a touchdown. Block in the back or not, I'm going to be unbiased here. Block in the back or not, that was a touchdown. The punt return. So, yeah. That special teams has to get figured out. Has to be better. Jake, I was right. McVay does not trust Cardi. JU, thank you for the 2. I just don't buy that. I don't think it's Cardi. I mean, let's be honest here, right? Let's just hear me out. Do you think he doesn't trust Tutu Atwell because he barely played today? Or do you think that was just the game flow? Because to me, I don't think it had anything to do with Cardi. I think it had everything to do with the game flow. They couldn't stop this offense. The only time they stopped this offense was when the offense shot themselves in the foot. The only time they stopped the offense is when Tyler Higbee dropped a pass or Devontae Adams dropped a pass or Stafford missed a throw, right? So that's kind of my thing. Like, I don't really feel... I just think Sean McVay went with the flow of the game. And the flow of the game had him being like, yeah, we're going to go for it here. We're going to push the envelope. And I'm glad. I agreed with it every time. Cy Calderon, thank you for the 2. T. Ferg showing why he should have got more reps. Yes, absolutely. Man, he's like that big, you know who T. Ferg looks like? He looks like Jacob Harris. He looks like Jacob Harris out there, does he not? The exact body type, everything. They never let Jacob Harris do anything. They told us we have something in him. He's going to be this, like, whatever. Made me look like a fool because I was comparing his measurables to Calvin Johnson. And then, of course, clickbaity thumbnail. It was like the next Megatron or whatever. But Jacob Harris was supposed to be this. They never let him cook. So I'm like, oh my God, tell me they didn't just get Terrence Ferguson and they're going to do the same thing. But luckily, it doesn't look that way. Looks like they'll let Ferg cook. No, Paul, Stafford didn't have any interceptions today. Stafford currently is leading the league in touchdowns with 17. He only has 2 picks, which if you do the math, well, never mind. I can't go by who's. That's annoying. There's still a decent amount of people that have only thrown one interception. Stafford should be around, so he's in the 1800s for passing yards. He'll get past today. He's not going to lead the league in passing after this week because he barely had any yards, but Stafford was insane today. And look at the targets, by the way. It's not just like dinking and dunking. Stafford very rarely dinks and dunks. He's going down the field. He's making big-time throws. He had a 106.2 passer rating going into today. That's got to be bumped into, maybe we're getting closer to 110. He's been great. He has been so great. I agree completely, Gabriel. All right. Well, this has been fun. Great win. On to the bye. Guys, be sure to leave comments and tag me in ideas and what have you. What should I do during the bye week? What would you like to see? I'll drop a post. We'll do a mailbag for sure this week. But yeah, let me know what you want to see during this bye week. I got a wedding on Sunday, so I won't be able to do like a hangout for the Sundays or anything like that. But yeah, then we have the Saints game, and then I'll be at the 49er game, and then the Seahawks game, and then after that, I'm pretty sure we have Tampa after that, right? The Tampa game? Is that right after? It is. Oh my God. That's a gauntlet. After you play the Saints, and then you have the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Bucks. So that is a gauntlet right there. That's like a tough 3-game stretch. 2 of which are at SoFi. One of them is on prime time. So yeah, I think what I'll do. Yeah, Rod, for sure. I think what I'll do is I'll probably do mid-season recap, grades, stuff like that, projections for the rest of the year. Maybe have some guests on. Maybe preview the Saints game in some capacity, although it seems a little too early. Preview the rest of the games. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But guys, if you're tired, I'm tired too. You'll very rarely catch me just hooded up like this, but I'm dead. So appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you. It's been a lot of fun hanging out, and especially it's always fun after a win. Enjoy Victory Monday tomorrow. I'll be back. I'd love to have Emmanuel Forbes on. I'd love to get a current player. Yeah, I'll reach out. How about that? So, okay. I'll reach out and see if I can get somebody on or multiple people on. We'll see. And yeah, so appreciate you guys so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Again, shout out to you for getting me over 32,000 subscribers. Just going to keep this train rolling. So I'll have a post later on, throughout the week, just picking your brain, seeing what you guys want as far as content is concerned. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the video. Be sure to use promo code JKB. You can get a 100% match up to $100. Get your $20 free entry. No deposit needed. If you haven't already done that, the link is in the description. Get in on the action with Sleeper. So that's going to do it for me, guys. You guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks.